Silver addressed the media during the League Cup final in Vegas. Oh, I don't think Adam Silver has any interest in pegging it to a percentage at all. And Adam Silver addressed the media during the League Cup final in Vegas and said that he'll get involved if they want him to. But here's the surprise. He's been involved from the beginning. What he was saying is, will I go to the actual table? You don't need the commissioner of the NBA to be at this table at any time. But what they've done is they've extended the deadline first by 30 days, 40 days. So it's been a total of 70 days, which all you're doing is delaying a work stoppage. You want to get to that work stoppage because that's a legal term of art. You want to get to some sort of lockout or strike so then it can go to the next stage of these negotiations.
Let's cut to the chase. WNBA ownership appears so fed up with the non-stop chaos that they may actually be willing to let Adam Silver pull the plug entirely. This wouldn't be a temporary pause or some half-baked restructuring plan. It would be a full-on shutdown. It sounds extreme, but the reality is even more serious than most people realize.
That the players in the WNBA want to have a pegged revenue number the way they have it in the NBA. And Adam Silver is saying no, because the NBA owners are saying no, because that's not taking into account all of the money that the WNBA owners need to profit and take off the table to pay down debt that has been accruing over the decades of losses. So that is why they're not having a meeting of the minds on any percentage, which is why the NBA is offering minimum salaries increasing like up to $1 million, because then you can absolutely chart and express what your expenses.
The CBA negotiations have completely collapsed into chaos. Players are threatening to walk. Owners insist they've already stretched the numbers as far as possible, and Adam Silver is stuck between two sides that can't even agree on basic financial realities. Adding to the turmoil, rumors suggest Kathy Engelbert may have become a bargaining chip in the standoff. Players are openly calling for her removal, and some ownership factions wouldn't exactly oppose a clean slate. Whether her position is truly blocking a deal remains unclear, but when nearly everyone is targeting the commissioner, it's a clear sign of just how badly the situation has unraveled.
Players are not going to move on a revenue split versus derived revenue share off of a fixed number. What is your opinion on what happens?
Maybe the end of the WNBA.
Let's break down what ownership is actually putting on the table, because given the league's current financial state, it's surprisingly strong. The proposal includes a $1 million maximum salary, with the average player earning around $417,000. On top of that, performance bonuses of roughly $200,000 could push the true top end to about $1.2 million. Ownership is also offering some form of revenue sharing. For perspective, the current maximum salary is just over $200,000, so these figures would represent a massive jump for everyone involved.
Unpopular to who? To the large majority of the... I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. If what you're saying that there have been expansion fees paid and they're trying to expand and they've got broadcast deals that were totally pinned to the NBA deals, is that what you mean by unpopular? What I'm telling you is that if the players get too greedy, it...
Here's what happened next. Players looked at the proposal and flatly rejected it. They didn't just say no. They voted to authorize a full strike, with 98% in favor and only a small minority holding back. Naturally, speculation exploded over who those few might be, and Caitlin Clark's name keeps coming up. Nothing is confirmed, but many believe she may understand a hard truth others are ignoring. You can't demand money from a business that's already bleeding cash. The deal on the table was a massive upgrade from the current reality, with salaries doubling or even tripling in some cases, jumping from a little over $200,000 to a potential $1 million at the top is life-changing for nearly any player. Yet some insist even more is owed. Bluntly put, it isn't, at least not when the financial fundamentals don't support it. Owners are covering losses year after year and still offering historic raises, while a narrative spreads that players are being disrespected, even though they're being offered more than the league actually earns. That's not a business model. It's fantasy economics. According to an NBA labor expert, the real issue isn't skill or leverage. It's math. Adam Silver has been involved from the start, and the core dispute centers on players wanting salaries tied to a percentage of revenue similar to the NBA model. Ownership refuses because the WNBA has been unprofitable for decades, losing tens of millions annually with the NBA covering the gaps. Revenue sharing only works when there's profit to divide, and the WNBA doesn't have that. It has debt. Owners need control over expenses and certainty in salary commitments to even chart a path toward profitability. Percentage-based pay in a league where revenue barely covers operations is a non-starter. Players are effectively asking for a slice of a pie that hasn't been baked yet, while threatening to burn the kitchen down if they don't get it. To avoid collapse, ownership is getting creative, proposing higher max salaries while cutting or reshuffling benefits like housing to control total costs. The strategy is to concentrate resources on top-tier talent that drives attention while trimming elsewhere, a move more typical of union tactics than management. The fact that owners are suggesting it shows how dire the situation has become. Negotiation experts warn that the players are overplaying their hand, driven by the surge in visibility Caitlin Clark brought. Instead of incremental gains over multiple deals, they've gone all in, psychologically cornering themselves so that even a deal doubling pay feels like a loss. That mindset is dangerous. If players insist on revenue percentage salaries, experts say plainly the league could fold, and that would open the door for well-funded competitors like Project B to launch a new league and lure away top talent overnight. The risk is unevenly distributed. Stars will survive through endorsements, international contracts, or rival leagues. Caitlin Clark will be fine, but the majority of players won't. Mid-roster veterans and young players who depend on the WNBA's existence would be hit hardest if the league disappears. That's why this all-or-nothing approach is so perilous. Ownership has subsidized the league for decades out of goodwill and belief in women's basketball, but goodwill has limits. When losses pile up and demands escalate beyond what revenue can support, owners eventually walk away. The WNBA is closer to that breaking point than anyone wants to admit. If the league collapses because of overreach, because players demanded money that doesn't exist, this will be the moment people look back on and say the warning signs were impossible to miss.